This is the Classified Book of Metaphysics, an ancient transmission once hidden from the world. If the title and the warning to delete this after watching pulled you here, it's because the knowledge within was already calling your spirit. Listen closely, for the secrets you are about to receive will reveal the precise mechanics that shape your reality. The Classified Book of Metaphysics. Introduction. Hidden within these chapters is not a cipher of ink or parchment, but a living code woven from the very currents that govern existence. What you hold now is a relic of forgotten wisdom, passed secretly from teacher to disciple, carried through centuries in veiled symbols, murmured prayers, and quiet transmissions of the Spirit. This is the Classified Book of Metaphysics, a sacred testament to humanity's most astonishing inheritance, the power to sculpt reality through the intention you dare to hold. The law of attraction, stripped of distortion and myth, emerges here as a precise, ancient mechanism, one that responds not to idle desire, but to the vibrational field humming at the core of your being like an unseen chord resonating through the cosmos. Your internal frequency summons experiences, opportunities, and outcomes that match it with unfailing accuracy. These teachings unfold in 3 sacred acts of creation. First, you will learn to perceive the vibration you currently emit, the silent broadcast that shapes your world. Next, you will awaken the ability to consciously sculpt this inner frequency, tuning it toward the desires held in the highest chambers of your heart. And finally, you will witness how these refined vibrations crystallize into form, revealing the hidden architecture behind every manifested reality. But such wisdom is not granted lightly. Power without purity distorts, and intention without integrity misleads. What you are about to receive is entrusted only to those who seek expansion, healing, and creation aligned with the greater good. These teachings are instruments of illumination, not control. Now, through these chapters, the full transmission is offered to you, clear, complete, and potent. A map to the inner mechanics of manifestation and the alchemy of conscious creation. Step forward with reverence. Let the ancient knowing rise within you. Your journey as the architect of your reality begins now. Before we get into the book, comment "I am ready" to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The First Unveiling. The Secret of Inner Alignment. Chapter 1. The Whisper Behind Every Thought. In a small coastal town, Maribel tended her morning garden, noticing how her plants seemed to mirror her moods. On days when worry clouded her thoughts about their growth, the leaves would wilt despite perfect care. Yet when she spoke to them with love, expecting their vibrant flourishing, they would stretch toward the sun with renewed vigor. At first, she dismissed these patterns as coincidence. But as she began paying closer attention, she witnessed this mysterious dance extending beyond her garden. When she woke believing nothing ever goes right, traffic lights turned red, appointments got canceled, and small frustrations multiplied. On mornings when she felt certain of life's underlying grace, even potential obstacles transformed into unexpected gifts. Through Maribel's observations, a timeless truth reveals itself. Your thoughts are not contained within your mind, but radiate as vibrational frequencies into the fabric of existence. The universe, in its infinite responsiveness, arranges circumstances to match these frequencies with perfect precision. Your inner dialogue serves as a template that reality follows with unwavering devotion. Each thought you hold becomes a note in the symphony of creation. When unconscious patterns of doubt or limitation play repeatedly in your mind, they compose melodies of lack that the universe faithfully echoes. Yet when you consciously cultivate thoughts of abundance and possibility, reality rearranges itself to harmonize with your new song. Consider Chester, a bookstore owner who stumbled upon this truth through an accidental experiment. One particularly challenging morning, he paused to take a single conscious breath, filling it with gratitude for simply being alive. That day, customers appeared with exact change, lost shipments suddenly arrived, and a rare book he'd sought for years practically fell into his hands. That evening he realized that his moment of appreciation had rippled outward, touching everything that followed. Chester's experience illuminates another layer of this principle. Attention amplifies. Whatever thought you focus upon intensifies in its vibrational potency. A mere whisper of gratitude, when held in clear awareness, can become a command that sets the universal forces in motion. Ancient practice of vibrational alignment. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Choose a single thought that represents what you wish to create. Rather than forcing this thought, allow it to rest gently in your awareness. Soften your attention around it until the thought becomes less like words and more like a feeling, a frequency, a soft light glowing within. Stay with this subtle vibration for several breaths, knowing that in this delicate space of awareness, you are issuing silent commands to the cosmic forces of creation. Chapter 2. The Hidden Gravity of Emotion. Within each thought lies a seed of creation, a vibration that shapes the fabric of your reality. This truth reveals itself through the story of Elowen, who first glimpsed the hidden mechanics of manifestation through the subtle whispers of her own emotional landscape. Living in a bustling city, Elowen began to observe how her feelings acted as invisible magnets, drawing experiences that matched their frequency with uncanny precision. When anxiety gripped her heart about financial matters, unexpected expenses would surface. Yet in moments when she felt abundant and grateful, opportunities for prosperity seemed to materialize from thin air. This observation opens a gateway to one of the most powerful secrets of the universe. While thoughts direct your creative energy, it is emotion that ignites the flame of manifestation. Your feelings serve as the active current, the living force that transforms inner reality into outer experience. Think of emotion as the fuel that powers the engine of creation. A thought may plot the course, but it is the feeling behind that thought which determines its manifesting power. This is why two people can hold the same thought, yet experience vastly different results. The emotional charge behind their thinking creates distinctly different vibrational signatures. This truth found its mirror in Virgil's journey. For years he carried resentment toward those he believed had wronged him, and found himself repeatedly facing closed doors and rejected opportunities. One day, through deep reflection, he chose to release his bitterness and embrace compassion, not only for others, but for himself. As his emotional frequency shifted, the world responded in kind. Doors that had remained stubbornly shut began to open, relationships healed, and new paths emerged before him. The universe responds not to your words or surface thoughts, but to the deep emotional current that flows beneath them. This is why genuine gratitude attracts more abundance than mere positive thinking, and why authentic joy draws more happiness than forced smiles. Ancient practice, the emotional transmutation. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and bring awareness to any heavy emotion residing within you. Don't resist it. Simply observe its presence, its texture, its weight. Breathe deeply and imagine this emotion as a dark cloud slowly dissolving in the warmth of your attention. With each breath, feel it growing lighter, transforming into pure energy. As space clears within, invite a higher emotional frequency to naturally arise, perhaps gratitude, peace, or joy. Let this new feeling expand naturally, filling the space where heaviness once dwelled. This practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, allows you to consciously shift your vibrational signature, and therefore, what you attract into your life. Chapter 3. The Soul's Invisible Signature. In the depths of an ancient cedar grove, Juniper walked alone, feeling paradoxically invisible, yet intimately woven into the fabric of existence. As sunlight filtered through the branches, she sensed a peculiar resonance, not with her thoughts or emotions, but with something more fundamental, her own unique signature in the cosmic dance. You, like Juniper, carry within you a distinctive vibrational imprint, a soul note that rings through the chambers of the universe. This signature is not merely a metaphor, but a metaphysical reality that shapes the contours of your journey. It is the reason why certain paths feel natural, while others create resistance, why specific opportunities gravitate toward you while others pass by. This personal frequency acts as your spiritual fingerprint in the universal matrix. It is neither good nor bad, neither high nor low. It simply is. Your signature vibration orchestrates the symphony of your existence, attracting experiences that harmonize with your authentic nature, while gently deflecting those that don't serve your soul's journey. Consider the tale of Royce, a merchant who spent years studying the methods of successful traders, mimicking their strategies and mannerisms. Despite his diligent efforts, prosperity eluded him. One morning, exhausted from pretense, he abandoned the borrowed techniques and followed his intuition. Within days, unexpected clients sought him out, drawn to his genuine approach. The universe, you see, responds not to performance, but to authenticity. Your vibrational signature operates like a cosmic tuning fork, resonating with matching frequencies in the field of infinite possibility. When you align with this natural tone, life flows with remarkable ease. When you attempt to vibrate at someone else's frequency, you create discord in your manifesting potential. The wisdom lies not in trying to alter your signature, but in recognizing and honoring it. Your unique vibration is your gift to the universe, a note that completes the cosmic symphony in a way that only you can. Ancient practice. The return to natural resonance. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Release any tension about who you think you should be. Let go of comparisons to others. Simply allow yourself to be. Feel the natural rhythm of your being. Not your thoughts, not your emotions, but the pure essence of who you are. Rest in this space of self-acceptance, letting the universe meet you exactly as you are. This is your true frequency, your authentic vibration. Spend time here each day, allowing your natural signature to strengthen and clarify. Chapter 4. The Echoes of Unspoken Belief. A lone candle flickered in Fiona's meditation room as she diligently spoke her daily affirmations. "Abundance flows to me easily," she whispered, yet her bank account told a different story. Despite her conscious declarations of prosperity, an undercurrent of scarcity followed her like a shadow. Each time opportunity knocked, an invisible force seemed to hold her back, not her words, but something deeper, more tenacious. This phenomenon reveals one of the most crucial laws of manifestation. Your unspoken beliefs carry more power than your spoken words. These beliefs act as silent commands to the universe, shaping your reality with unwavering precision. While your conscious mind may proclaim abundance, your deeper beliefs might whisper, "There is never enough." And it is this whisper that the universe ultimately obeys. Think of beliefs as programs running in the background of your consciousness. Like hidden software directing a computer's operations, they determine which experiences you attract and which you repel. These programs were often installed long ago, through childhood experiences, cultural conditioning, or moments of intense emotion. They operate beneath your awareness, yet their influence touches every aspect of your existence. In the mountains of Tibet, Harland, a wandering artist, carried a belief that creative success required suffering. This unconscious program had guided his choices for decades, leading him to sabotage opportunities for easy success. One morning, sitting beside an ancient monastery, he gently questioned this belief. What if creation could flow with joy? This simple inquiry created a crack in the old program. Within weeks, his art began reaching appreciative audiences effortlessly, demonstrating how one shift in belief can reorganize entire pathways of experience. Your beliefs are not your enemies. They were once protective mechanisms, ways of making sense of the world, yet many have outlived their purpose, like winter clothes worn in summer. The key lies not in fighting these beliefs, but in bringing them into the light of awareness with compassion. Ancient practice. The gentle unveiling. Sit quietly in a space where you feel safe. Place one hand over your heart and breathe deeply. Ask yourself, what do I believe about my worthiness? About what's possible for me? Listen without judgment as answers surface. When you identify a limiting belief, don't rush to change it. Instead, breathe warmth and compassion into it, as you would comfort a child. Feel the belief softening in the presence of your acceptance. This gentle awareness itself begins the process of transformation, allowing new possibilities to emerge naturally. Chapter 5. The Alignment of Desire and Worthiness. Think of beliefs as programs running in the background of your consciousness. Like hidden software directing a computer's operations, they determine which experiences manifest in your reality, regardless of your surface-level programming. In the quiet corners of an ancient village, Maisie crafted exquisite tapestries, her fingers weaving dreams into reality. Each thread she wove carried whispers of her deepest yearning, to share her art with the world. Yet whenever opportunities arose to display her work, she would quietly decline, her heart heavy with an unspoken certainty that she was unworthy of such recognition. The universe responds not to what you say, but to what you believe in the depths of your being. When desire meets unworthiness, it creates a vibrational discord, like two opposing magnets repelling each other. Your conscious wishes may reach toward what you want, while your unconscious beliefs push it away. This silent battle between longing and unworthiness creates a spiritual stalemate. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, can only match your deepest conviction. If that conviction speaks of unworthiness, even the most passionate desires remain suspended in the realm of dreams. Consider the tale of Gideon, a gifted musician who played in empty taverns for years. Though his melodies could stir the soul, he carried a deep-seated belief that success was for others, not him. But one moonlit evening, after playing a piece that moved him to tears, something shifted within. For the first time, he felt worthy of the music flowing through him. In that moment of self-acceptance, the universe responded. Within weeks, opportunities began appearing. Invitations to perform at prestigious venues, offers to teach, and chances to share his gift with appreciative audiences. The law of attraction operates through this delicate dance between desire and worthiness. When you feel deserving of your dreams, you create a clear channel for manifestation. Your beliefs must align with your wishes, like a key fitting perfectly into its lock. Ancient practice, the worthy dream. Find a quiet moment and bring to mind one desire that lives in your heart. Rather than pushing or straining toward it, simply allow it to rest in your awareness. Breathe deeply and whisper to yourself, "I am worthy of this dream." Let this truth settle into your being, like gentle rain soaking into thirsty soil. Hold your desire with the same tenderness you would offer a cherished friend, allowing yourself to feel deserving of its fulfillment. Chapter 6. The energy you send before speaking. A merchant's daughter stood at the threshold of her father's bustling marketplace, watching the ebb and flow of daily commerce. Before she spoke a single word, Della noticed how customers naturally gravitated toward or away from her. Some days, they would approach eagerly, their faces bright with interest. Other days, despite her identical greeting, they would hurry past, averting their eyes. Through patient observation, she uncovered a profound truth. It was not her words that drew people near or pushed them away, but rather the invisible energy she carried. When her heart felt light and welcoming, the marketplace flourished. When worry clouded her thoughts, even her warmest smile could not bridge the distance. The universe operates through frequencies far subtler than words. Your energy arrives in a room before your physical presence. It speaks louder than your carefully chosen phrases and reveals truths deeper than your conscious intentions. This pre-communicative vibration sets the stage for all that follows. In the silent language of energy, authenticity resonates more powerfully than performance. When you align your inner state with pure intention, the world responds to this harmony. Your words become vessels for this alignment rather than its source. In a distant mountain village, a shepherd named Thatcher struggled with his fellow herders. Each discussion about shared grazing lands would spiral into conflict. Despite his logical arguments one morning, watching the sunrise paint the hills in gold, he experienced a moment of clarity. He realized he had been approaching every conversation prepared for battle, his energy bristling with defense. That day, he chose differently. Before speaking, he allowed his heart to soften and his mind to open. He approached the morning's meeting not as a confrontation to win, but as a shared exploration. To his amazement, the other herders' rigid positions began to melt. Solutions emerged naturally. as if they had been waiting all along for the space to appear. This transformation reveals a fundamental principle. The energy you bring into any interaction shapes its outcome more powerfully than the words you speak. When you approach life with openness rather than resistance, the universe mirrors this receptivity back to you. Ancient practice, the field of presence. Before engaging with the world each morning, find a quiet moment. Close your eyes and feel the energy flowing through your being. Without trying to change anything, simply observe the quality of your presence. Is it tight or spacious? Defensive or welcoming? Let your breath slowly smooth any roughness in your energy field. Imagine your presence as a clear pool of water, reflecting the sky above. Allow any ripples to naturally settle. Feel how this state of calm presence creates a field of possibility around you. Carry this awareness with you as you move through your day, knowing that your energy speaks first and your words follow. Chapter 7. The Frequency of Invisible Decisions. In the quiet stillness of dawn, a young woman named Waverly sat between two paths in a mountain meadow. The morning mist curled around her feet as she pondered which direction to take. Hours passed, and still she remained, caught in the grip of indecision. As shadows lengthened across the grass, she noticed how butterflies and birds avoided her space, creating a perfect circle of emptiness around her frozen form. In that moment, she understood. Her indecision had become a tangible force, pushing away even the natural flow of life itself. The universe speaks in the language of certainty. When you hesitate between possibilities, you emit a frequency of confusion that ripples through the fabric of creation. This vibration of uncertainty creates a field of resistance, causing the very forces of manifestation to pause, waiting for clear direction. Think of water flowing down a mountainside. It does not stop to question its path. It simply moves, finding its way around obstacles, carving new channels when necessary. The water's clarity of purpose, its unwavering commitment to flow, ensures its journey to the sea. Similarly, your energy must flow with decision, even if the path ahead isn't perfectly illuminated. Consider how a musician doesn't wait for every note to be perfect before beginning to play. They understand that the very act of playing creates its own momentum, its own magic. Your choices work in the same way. They need not be flawless to be powerful. What matters is the clear intention behind them. In the ancient city of Meridia, a merchant named Oswin faced bankruptcy. Rather than remaining paralyzed by the magnitude of his situation, he made one small decision: to sell a single ring from his vast collection of unsold jewelry. That single choice, that tiny movement forward, created a ripple of clarity in his energy field. The sale of that ring led to another customer, then another. Each small step forward generated its own momentum, until his business began to flourish once again. Your energy field responds not to the size of your decisions, but to their clarity. When you choose, even in small ways, you align yourself with the universal current of creation. Each choice sends forth a vibration of certainty that attracts corresponding circumstances and opportunities. Ancient practice. Sit in silence for a moment. Feel the weight of any indecision you carry. Now, choose one small, clear direction for today. Something as simple as the order in which you'll complete your tasks, or which project you'll focus on first. Make this choice with complete presence, letting go of all other possibilities. Feel the shift in your energy as you commit to this single, clear path. Honor this choice throughout your day, noticing how this clarity affects the energy you emit and what you attract in return. Chapter 8. The Silent Architect of Expectation. In a sunlit garden, a woman named Iris tended her roses each morning. Despite her daily care and hopeful prayers for abundant blooms, her garden remained sparse. One day, while sharing tea with her neighbor, whose garden flourished wildly, she caught herself thinking, "Of course her garden thrives. She has the magic touch. I never succeed with plants." In that moment of clarity, Iris recognized how her deep-seated expectation of failure had been quietly shaping her reality, regardless of her surface hopes and actions. This revelation unveils a fundamental truth about the universe's response to your consciousness. When hope and expectation clash, expectation invariably prevails. Your expectations form the invisible blueprint that the universe follows with unwavering precision. These subtle assumptions, often running beneath conscious awareness, act as silent architects of your experience. Think of expectation as the foundation upon which all manifestation builds. While your hopes and wishes float like clouds in the sky, your expectations anchor deep in the earth of your being, determining what takes root and what withers. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you deeply believe will occur. In a small coastal town, a fisherman named Lyle struggled through years of meager catches. Each morning, he would scan the horizon with worry, anticipating empty nets, until one storm-filled night, something shifted within him. As he lay in his bed, listening to the rain, he felt an inexplicable sense of abundance wash over him. Without effort or struggle, he began expecting goodness from the sea. The next morning, he sailed out with this new inner knowing. To his amazement, his nets filled easily, and continued to do so day after day. Nothing in his external actions had changed, only the quiet certainty in his heart that abundance would flow naturally to him. The secret lies not in forcing positive expectations, but in gently allowing them to take root. When you release resistance and permit yourself to expect grace, the universe rearranges itself to match this new vibration. Ancient practice of expectation alignment. Find a quiet moment and bring your attention to your breath. Allow yourself to settle into a state of calm receptivity. Now, choose one area of your life where you wish to cultivate ease rather than striving or forcing. Simply rest in the gentle expectation that goodness will flow to you naturally. Feel this expectation as a warm certainty in your heart. Hold this feeling for several breaths, allowing it to anchor within you. Practice this alignment daily, watching how reality begins to mirror your new expectation of ease. Chapter 9. The Ritual of Letting Inner Noise Settle. Through countless generations, wise teachers have whispered this truth. What you deeply expect becomes your reality, not through mystical intervention, but through an unwavering universal law that responds to the vibrational essence of your inner certainties. Consider how Bo, a merchant in a bustling marketplace, noticed that his most turbulent days yielded the least fruitful exchanges. Each morning he arrived with racing thoughts and scattered energy, his mind darting between concerns about competition, fears of scarcity, and anxiety about meeting his needs. The more his inner world churned, the more his outer world reflected that chaos. Merchandise would get misplaced, calculations would go awry, and customers would seem particularly demanding. This principle operates with mathematical precision. Inner turbulence creates outer disorder. When your energy field lacks coherence, the universe cannot deliver clear results. Like trying to see your reflection in troubled waters, a restless mind distorts the image of what you wish to manifest. The truth reveals itself with elegant simplicity. Energetic stillness precedes manifestation. Just as an artist requires a steady hand to paint with precision, your creative force needs inner quiet to shape reality with accuracy. This stillness is not passive, but rather a state of alert serenity where intention can flow unobstructed. Opal discovered this wisdom through necessity rather than design. Working as a healer in a small village, she found herself overwhelmed by the constant demands for her attention. One day, exhausted, she began taking brief moments of silence before seeing each patient. These small pockets of stillness shifted everything. Her intuition sharpened, her energy remained steady, and her effectiveness doubled. Without changing her external actions, she had altered the core frequency from which she operated. The universe responds not to what you do, but to the energetic clarity from which your actions spring. When you align with stillness, even briefly, you access the pure creative current that shapes reality. This is why masters throughout time have emphasized the power of silence, not as an escape from life, but as the foundation for masterful manifestation. Practice. Find a comfortable position and allow your awareness to rest in the space between your thoughts. Don't force stillness. Simply observe the natural gaps that exist between mental activity. Feel how these moments of quiet hold a different quality of energy. Let this silence expand naturally, if only for a few breaths. Notice how your entire being begins to align with a deeper current of peace. This is the state from which clear manifestation becomes possible. Chapter 10. The Secret Behind Small Signs. The truth lies not in the clamor of rushing thoughts, but in the spaces between them. When the mind grows still, wisdom flows naturally, as pure as mountain springs untouched by human hands. In a small village lived Alma, a weaver whose days were filled with endless mental chatter. Her thoughts tangled like loose threads, each worry knotting into the next, until her inner world became a maze of anxiety. Yet one morning, as she sat at her loom, feeling overwhelmed, she chose to pause, to breathe, to let the noise within her settle, if only for a moment. In that space of stillness, she noticed something extraordinary. The pattern she had been struggling with suddenly aligned perfectly with the rising sun streaming through her window. This was no mere coincidence. It was the universe speaking in its subtle language of synchronicity. As she continued her practice of finding moments of inner quiet, more signs appeared. A bird's song would match the rhythm of her weaving. A chance encounter would provide the exact advice she needed. The ancient ones knew this truth. When inner turbulence subsides, the voice of the universe becomes clear. Like a pool of water must be still to reflect the stars above, your consciousness must find moments of peace to receive divine guidance. Florian, a wandering scholar, discovered this same principle in his own way. His mind constantly overflowed with theories and questions, creating such mental static that he could barely focus on his studies. One evening, exhausted from his internal chaos, he simply stopped. Let his racing thoughts settle like dust in a quiet room. In that crystalline moment of mental silence, he noticed a particular arrangement of books on his shelf, titles that, when read together, offered the very insight he had been seeking for months. As he cultivated more moments of stillness, similar revelations appeared. Meaningful patterns in nature, recurring numbers, chance meetings that felt orchestrated by unseen hands. Sacred practice. As you move through your day, create one moment of complete inner stillness. Let your thoughts settle naturally, like leaves floating to the bottom of a clear pond. In this space of quiet, notice what sign or synchronicity appears. It may come as a repeated number, a meaningful coincidence, or a subtle pattern that speaks to your heart. Honor this sign by acknowledging its presence, understanding that it appears not by chance, but through the precise orchestration of a universe that communicates through the language of silence. Part 2. The second unveiling, directing the unseen forces. Chapter 11. The art of vibrational precision. The universe speaks in whispers, but its messages carry the weight of mountains when you learn to interpret their meaning with precision. This truth unfolds through the story of Prudence, who walked the path of manifestation with dedication, yet found her desires materializing in unexpected, often misaligned ways. In her garden one morning, Prudence yearned for more abundance, a wish as vast as the sky but as undefined as mist. The universe responded, but not as she had imagined her life filled with excess, too many commitments, overwhelming responsibilities, and a chaos of opportunities that left her drained rather than fulfilled. Through this experience, she uncovered an essential truth. The language of creation requires emotional precision. Just as a master painter doesn't simply request color, but selects exact shades and tones, the universe responds not to vague longings, but to precisely calibrated feelings. The ancient texts speak of this principle. As above, so below, as within, so without. Your inner emotional landscape must mirror with exactitude the essence of what you wish to manifest. This is not about perfect thoughts or flawless visualization. It is about emotional coherence, about feeling with clarity and definition. Consider Edwin, who discovered this principle while seeking to enhance his creative work. Initially, his desire for success generated scattered results, brief moments of recognition followed by long periods of struggle. Everything changed when he refined his emotional frequency to match exactly what success meant to him. The peaceful satisfaction of creating meaningful work that touched others deeply. With this emotional precision, his manifestations aligned perfectly. He didn't merely receive random opportunities. Each door that opened led precisely where his heart had directed. The universe, ever attentive, matched his exact emotional frequency with mathematical precision. This revelation illuminates a fundamental law. Manifestation flows through the channel of emotional clarity. When your feelings are muddied or uncertain, reality responds with equal ambiguity. But when you hold an emotion with crystal clarity, like sunlight through a perfectly polished lens, the universe mirrors that precision in physical form. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Bring to mind one specific desire. Rather than focusing on the outcome, attune yourself to the emotional essence of this desire. Let yourself feel it with increasing precision, adjusting the feeling tone until it resonates with perfect clarity, like tuning an instrument until each note rings true. Hold this refined emotional frequency gently, without strain, allowing it to become your natural state of being. Chapter 12. The Gentle Power of Energetic Surrender. In the quiet spaces between wanting and receiving lies a sacred truth about the nature of manifestation. This wisdom reveals itself through Clara's journey, as she stood before the mirror each morning, affirming her desires with such intensity that her jaw would clench and her shoulders would tighten. Despite her fervent determination, each goal seemed to drift further from her grasp, like water slipping through tightly clenched fingers. The universe operates through an exquisite paradox. The more desperately you grasp at your desires, the more they elude you. This tension creates a vibrational interference that disrupts the natural flow of manifestation. When you squeeze too tightly, you compress the very channels through which abundance wishes to flow. The ancient masters understood this principle well. They taught that manifestation requires both the flame of desire and the breath of surrender. Your role is not to force the universe's hand, but to set your intention with clarity and then step back, allowing infinite intelligence to orchestrate the perfect unfolding. Benton discovered this truth during his pursuit of professional advancement. For years, he had meticulously planned every step, attempting to control each variable. His energy was a knot of anxiety, constantly checking, pushing, and manipulating circumstances. Success remained elusive until one evening, exhausted from the struggle, he simply released his grip. In that moment of surrender, something shifted. He maintained his clear intention, but released the desperate need to orchestrate every detail. Like a sail catching the wind, his life began to move with an ease he had never known. Opportunities appeared from unexpected directions, connections formed naturally, and paths opened that he could never have planned. This is the delicate art of allowing, holding your desire with gentle clarity while trusting the universe's infinite wisdom to deliver it in perfect timing. Your task is not to force the future into being, but to maintain the pure frequency of your intention, while allowing life to unfold naturally. The ancient practice of sacred surrender. Find a quiet moment and bring to mind one desire you have been gripping tightly. Feel the tension in your body associated with this attachment. Now, breathe deeply and imagine your desire as a delicate butterfly resting in your open palms. With each breath, soften your energetic hold until you feel a gentle release. Trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and what comes easily is often what serves you best. Chapter 13. The Magnetic Pulse of Visualization. Deep within the wellspring of creation lies a truth more potent than mere mental pictures, the power of felt vision. Let us explore this wisdom through the tale of Hattie, who spent countless hours crafting detailed mental images of her desired future, yet found them floating away like leaves on the wind. For years, Hattie would sit in meditation, constructing elaborate scenes of her ideal life. She could see every detail, the sunlight streaming through windows, the colors of success surrounding her, the precise arrangement of her dreams made manifest. Yet something was missing. Her visions, though pristine, remained distant portraits rather than living realities. Until one morning, everything changed. As Hattie sat in her familiar practice, she suddenly stopped trying to see and allowed herself to feel. The temperature of that imagined sunlight warmed her skin. The texture of abundance became tangible beneath her fingers. The scent of success filled her lungs. In that moment, her visualization transformed from a movie screen into a visceral experience. This is the hidden key. The universe responds not to the pictures in your mind, but to the feeling tone they generate within you. When you infuse your visions with sensory aliveness, you create an energetic blueprint that the cosmic forces can follow. Merlin's story illuminates this principle further. A dreamer by nature, he would often lose himself in gentle reveries about his aspirations. One day, while daydreaming about his ideal creative studio, he noticed something different. Instead of merely seeing the space, he felt the smooth wood beneath his palms, heard the quiet that nurtured inspiration, sensed the peace that permeated the air. Within months, an unexpected opportunity led him to exactly such a space. What Merlin discovered was that effortless sensory imagination carries more magnetic power than forced visualization. When you allow your visions to engage all your senses, to become experiences rather than images, you align with the universe's natural creative flow. Ancient practice of sensory vision. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Choose one desire that feels true to your heart. Rather than straining to see it, allow yourself to experience it. Feel the textures, temperatures, and sensations associated with this vision. Let the sounds, scents, and tastes arise naturally. Notice how your body responds to this fuller way of imagining. Hold this sensory-rich experience gently, knowing that what can be felt this vividly is already taking form in the unseen realms. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Energetic Consequence of Resistance. In the depths of understanding lies a truth more potent than mere mental pictures, the power of felt vision. The story begins with Sadie, who discovered this wisdom through her own journey of resistance and release. Each morning, Sadie would wake to find small frustrations mounting in her life. The more she pushed against these unwanted circumstances, the more they seemed to multiply. Her neighbors' wind chimes that disrupted her peace became louder and more persistent. The traffic on her daily commute grew increasingly congested. Even the minor inconveniences at work appeared to snowball into larger obstacles. One particularly challenging day, as she sat in her garden, the universe offered its gentle teaching through experience. The wind chimes next door began their familiar song, and Sadie felt the usual surge of resistance rising within her. But something different happened this time. She noticed how her attention, even in its negativity, seemed to amplify the very sound she wished to diminish. This realization opens the door to a profound universal truth. What you resist persists, not because the universe is unkind, but because resistance itself is a form of focused attention. The law of attraction responds not to your preferences, but to your emotional investment. When you push against what you don't want, you unknowingly strengthen its presence in your reality. This mechanism operates with precise neutrality. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, does not distinguish between positive and negative attention. It simply amplifies whatever receives your emotional focus. Like a garden that grows both flowers and weeds with equal nurturing, Your reality expands whatever you water with your attention. Amos, a quiet observer of life, stumbled upon this same truth through a different door. For months, he had battled against his circumstances, fighting what he perceived as obstacles to his peace. Then one ordinary afternoon, exhausted from the constant struggle, he simply stopped. In that moment of surrender, he discovered something remarkable. The space where resistance once lived could now be filled with gentle acceptance. Instead of pushing against what was unwanted, Amos began to softly turn his attention toward what he preferred. Like a stream finding its natural course, his life began to flow with unexpected ease. The situations he had once fought didn't necessarily vanish immediately, but their power over his peace dissolved. This teaching reveals the subtle art of manifestation. It is not about forcing change through resistance, but about allowing transformation through gentle redirection of focus. When you cease battling what is, you free up tremendous energy that can be channeled into creating what you desire. Ancient practice of release. Find a quiet moment and bring to mind one situation you've been resisting. Feel its weight, not to strengthen it, but to acknowledge its presence. Now, imagine your resistance as a tightly held fist. Slowly, gently, begin to open your hand. With each breath, release your grip on this resistance. Notice the space that creates, not a void to be filled, but a clearing where new possibilities can naturally arise. Rest in this space of allowing, knowing that what you cease to resist loses its power to persist. Chapter 15. The Field of Collective Influence. There was once a woman named Eloise who lived in a bustling city neighborhood. In the quiet moments of her morning routine, she began to observe a peculiar phenomenon. The way her inner state seemed to ripple outward, touching everything and everyone around her. On days when anxiety churned within her, she noticed how her co-workers grew tense, meetings became strained, and even her favorite cafe felt charged with unspoken tension. Yet when peace flowed through her being, these same spaces transformed, as if responding to an invisible conductor. The truth reveals itself. Your energy is not contained within you, but radiates outward like light from a lamp. Each thought, each feeling, each subtle shift in your inner landscape sends waves through the invisible fabric of reality. You are, in every moment, either contributing to the harmony or discord of any space you inhabit. Consider how a tranquil lake reflects the sky above. Your presence similarly reflects into the world around you. When turbulent, you create ripples that touch distant shores. When still, you become a mirror for peace itself. A merchant named Vernon came to understand this profound truth during a contentious business meeting. Having spent his morning in meditation, he entered the conference room carrying an unwavering sense of calm. As he took his seat, something remarkable unfolded. The tension that had filled the room began to dissolve. Voices softened, shoulders relaxed, and solutions emerged where there had been only conflict. Without speaking a word, his centered presence had shifted the entire dynamic. This power of energetic influence flows through you in every moment. You need not speak to be heard, for your vibration speaks volumes before words ever form. Each space you enter is altered by your presence, transformed by the frequency you carry. Ancient practice for energetic harmony. Before entering any shared space, pause for 3 breaths. With the first breath, become aware of your current vibration. With the second, release any discord you may be carrying. With the third, Align yourself with peace and clarity. Let this state of harmony flow naturally from your being, touching all who cross your path. This simple practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, allows you to become a source of balance in an unbalanced world. Remember, you are not separate from the spaces you inhabit. Your energy joins the grand symphony of life, contributing its unique note to the universal chorus. Choose wisely the vibration you share with the world. Chapter 16. The Channel of Inspired Action. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Cecily stood before her merchant's stall, arranging her wares with meticulous precision. Day after day she had followed the same routine, working harder and longer, yet her business remained stagnant. Despite her tireless efforts, something felt misaligned. One morning, instead of rushing to open her stall, she lingered in the quiet dawn. In that moment of stillness, a gentle knowing washed over her. She felt drawn to move her stall near the fountain square, not from logic or strategy, but from an inner whisper that felt as natural as breathing. Within days, her business flourished. The location she had been guided to provided not just more customers, but the right customers, those who truly valued her offerings. She realized that her previous actions, born of worry and strain, had created more resistance than progress. You see, the universe responds not to action alone, but to the energy from which that action springs. When you force movement from fear or obligation, you push against the natural flow of creation. But when you act from alignment, that sweet spot of inner harmony, the universe conspires to support your every step. Like a river finding its path to the ocean, inspired action carries its own momentum. It does not exhaust, but energizes. It does not strain, but flows. This is the difference between pushing against life and dancing with it. Oren, a craftsman who had spent years struggling to expand his workshop, discovered this truth in an unexpected way. After months of aggressive marketing and networking that left him drained, he decided to simply create what brought him joy. While working on a piece that truly inspired him, he felt a sudden urge to share it in the town square. That single inspired action, born of authentic enthusiasm, attracted more genuine opportunities than all his previous calculated efforts combined. This is the secret rhythm of manifestation: alignment first, action second. When you tune your inner frequency to the vibration of what you desire, inspiration arrives as naturally as dawn follows night. These inspirations are the universe's way of guiding you along paths of least resistance. Remember, not all motion is progress. Some action simply creates noise in the field of possibilities. But when you move from a place of alignment, even the smallest step can open doorways you never imagined possible. Sacred practice of inspired action. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Notice any subtle nudges or gentle pulls toward specific actions. Without analyzing or questioning, acknowledge the whisper of inspiration that arises naturally. Take one small step in that direction, knowing that inspired action carries the power of the universe within it. Trust that when alignment leads, the path unfolds with grace. Chapter 17. The Subtle Language of Intuition. This truth echoes through the ages. Within the silent chambers of your heart lies an intelligence far greater than mere logic. You have felt it, those subtle promptings that arise not from thought but from a deeper knowing in the space between your breaths. The universe speaks. Flora's journey reveals this ancient wisdom. As she walked through her daily life, she began to notice a pattern. Whenever she followed those quiet impulses that seemed to arise from nowhere, her path unfolded with remarkable grace. These were not loud commands, but gentle suggestions, like ripples on still water. One morning, preparing for an important meeting, Flora felt an unexplainable urge to take a different route to work. The logical mind resisted. This way would surely take longer, yet something within her knew. Following this soft guidance, she encountered exactly the person she needed to meet, someone who held the key to her next opportunity. This was not coincidence but cosmic orchestration. The universe speaks through feeling, through the quiet yes and no that rises from your depths. These subtle signals are your vibrational compass, aligning you with paths of least resistance. When you tune into this frequency, you tap into the flow of universal intelligence. Baxter discovered this truth in his own way. For months, he had struggled with a decision about his career, analyzing every option with careful logic. Then one morning, sitting in silence, he felt a gentle pull toward an unexpected direction. It wasn't dramatic, just a quiet knowing, a sense of rightness that transcended reason. Following this whisper led him to opportunities he could never have planned. This is the secret. Inspired action arises not from force, but from alignment. When you're in harmony with your deepest truth, the universe guides you through intuitive nudges. These are not random feelings, but precise cosmic coordinates, leading you toward your highest good. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment and close your eyes. Let your breath become soft and natural. Notice the subtle sensations within. There is always a whisper waiting to be heard, a gentle knowing that transcends thought. What is it telling you in this moment? Honor this voice, no matter how quiet. Take one small step in the direction it suggests. Trust that the universe speaks through these subtle promptings, guiding you toward your highest path. Chapter 18. The Vibrational Mirror of Relationships. In the ancient scrolls of wisdom, a truth lies hidden. Every relationship serves as a sacred reflection of your inner world. The universe, in its infinite intelligence, orchestrates encounters that mirror back to you the vibrations you carry within. Nellie observed this mystical principle unfolding in her daily interactions. Each morning, as she entered her workplace, she noticed how her colleagues' responses aligned perfectly with her internal state. On days when doubt clouded her heart, even the warmest among them seemed distant. Yet when she walked in feeling peaceful and whole, these same individuals approached her with unexpected kindness. The law works with unwavering precision. Your relationships reflect not your words or actions, but the subtle frequencies you emanate. Like attracts like, and your energetic signature draws forth matching expressions from others. This is not punishment or reward, but the natural orchestration of universal harmony. As Nellie began to understand this principle, she witnessed its truth in every encounter. The irritable neighbor who always seemed to find fault showed her where she judged herself too harshly. The friend who constantly interrupted mirrored her own unacknowledged need to be heard. Each interaction became a gentle teacher, revealing what remained unhealed within. Irving's experience illuminates this truth further. For years, he approached life from a defensive stance, unconsciously expecting others to dismiss his worth. The world faithfully mirrored this expectation, until the day he recognized the pattern. In the silence of self-reflection, he began nurturing a deeper sense of self-acceptance. Without speaking a word of his inner shift, he noticed people responding differently. Colleagues sought his opinion more often. Strangers smiled more readily. The universe reflected his new frequency with perfect accuracy. The power lies not in changing others, but in transforming the vibration you offer to the world. When you heal the relationship with yourself, all other relationships naturally realign. This is the sacred alchemy of inner work. Ancient practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Bring to mind a relationship that challenges you. Rather than focusing on the other person's behavior, turn your attention inward. Notice what emotions arise. Now, like a gentle rain washing over parched earth, let compassion flow toward yourself. Accept all that you find within, the fears, the hopes, the unmet needs. As you hold yourself in this tender embrace, feel how the energy of the relationship begins to shift. The universe will respond to this new frequency, rearranging external reflections to match your inner healing. Remember, the world can only reflect what you first believe about yourself. Choose compassion, and watch as your mirrors transform. Chapter 19. The Frequency of Forgiveness. In the stillness of an autumn evening, Clementine sat beneath an ancient oak tree, her heart heavy with memories she could not release. For years she had carried the weight of past hurts, believing that holding on to them somehow protected her from future pain. Yet as she watched the leaves dance in the evening breeze, a profound truth began to unfold before her. The universe speaks in whispers of wisdom, revealing that forgiveness is not an act of condoning what was done, but a sacred release of the energetic chains that bind you to past moments. When you hold on to grievances, you create invisible tethers that anchor your vibration to old wounds, preventing the flow of new blessings. Clementine discovered this truth as she noticed how thoughts of past betrayals would surface precisely when new opportunities approached. Each remembered slight acted as an energetic barrier, deflecting the very abundance she sought to attract. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, could not deliver fresh possibilities through channels clogged with stagnant energy. This knowing runs deeper than human logic. It touches the very fabric of universal law. Every thought of resentment emits a frequency that attracts more situations requiring forgiveness. Every moment spent reliving old hurts creates a magnetic pull towards similar experiences. This is not punishment, but the perfect reflection of your vibrational offering. Percival's journey illuminates this principle with crystal clarity. For decades, he carried the burden of self-judgment over choices made in his youth. His inner dialogue remained stuck in an endless loop of, "I should have known better." This energy of self-recrimination created a dense field around him, blocking the natural flow of life's gifts. Then one morning, while watching the sun rise over distant hills, Percival experienced a moment of profound self-forgiveness. He realized that his younger self had done the best he could with the awareness he possessed at the time. As this understanding settled into his heart, he felt an immediate lightness in his being. Within days, synchronicities began appearing in his life. Chance meetings opened new doors. Opportunities arose without effort, and long-standing problems resolved themselves mysteriously. The universe responded instantly to his shifted frequency, proving that forgiveness creates space for magic to enter. Ancient practice. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and bring awareness to your breath. Allow one situation that calls for forgiveness to surface naturally, whether it involves another or yourself. Do not force the process. Simply observe the energy around this memory. With each breath, feel the grip of resentment softening. This is not about forgetting or condoning, but about releasing the energetic hold. Let each exhale carry away the dense energy of unforgiveness until you feel the field around you lighten. Notice how your entire being responds to this liberation. Chapter 20. The Open Gate of Allowing. Within a sun-dappled courtyard, a young merchant named Bertie stood before her modest shop, watching potential customers pass by without entering. Though she had mastered the art of visioning her success and felt the thrill of anticipation, something still blocked the flow of abundance. Each time good fortune approached, an invisible wall seemed to deflect it. The secret lies not in the asking, but in the receiving. Your capacity to allow determines the fullness of what flows into your life. Like a vessel can only hold what its walls permit, your experience can only expand to match your willingness to receive. When you resist the natural current of abundance, you create tension in the energetic field. This resistance often manifests as subtle doubts, unworthiness, or the need to control precisely how blessings arrive. The universe responds not to your words or wishes, but to your energetic availability to receive. Think of a garden in spring. The flowers do not strain to bloom, they simply open, allowing sunlight and rain to nourish their growth. This same principle governs all manifestation. Your role is not to force or manipulate, but to maintain an open, receptive state that welcomes the universe's response. The mystical art of allowing requires three elements: trust in the perfect timing of all things, relaxation of mental and emotional tension, and receptivity to unexpected forms of fulfillment. When these three align, manifestation flows as naturally as water finding its course. Roscoe, a humble scribe, had spent years perfecting his craft, yet recognition eluded him. He questioned his readiness, his worthiness, his timing, until one day he simply stopped. In that moment of surrender, when he released the need to prove himself worthy, everything changed. A traveling merchant discovered his work, leading to commissions from noble houses across the land. His allowing created the very opening through which abundance could flow. The universe's bounty arrives not through force, but through faith. Your task is not to reach for what you desire, but to open yourself fully to receiving it. Release the grip of doubt, the tension of unworthiness, the resistance to joy. Let your energy field become a welcoming space for miracles. Ancient practice of allowing. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Imagine your energy field as a beautiful garden with a gate. Gently open this gate, allowing the universe's goodness to flow in without resistance or question. Feel the natural ease of receiving. Stay with this sensation, knowing that as you maintain this open state, all that is meant for you will arrive in perfect timing. Let this state of receptivity become your natural way of being. Part 3. The Third Unveiling. Mastery of the Hidden Mechanics. Chapter 21. The Dimensional Shift of Self-Concept. In an ancient garden filled with blooming jasmine, Violet tended to her flowers each morning, speaking to them as equals. While others saw her as a simple gardener, she noticed something extraordinary. On days she felt herself to be in harmony with nature's wisdom, the flowers responded differently, blooming out of season, growing in impossible conditions. Yet when she doubted her connection to this sacred knowledge, the garden seemed to withdraw its magic. The universe knows you not by your name or your history, but by the energetic signature of who you believe yourself to be. This signature acts as a metaphysical anchor, drawing to you experiences that match your innermost truth about yourself. When you walk through life believing yourself small, the universe has no choice but to present you with situations that confirm this belief. Yet when you gently expand your self-concept, reality must, by universal law, reorganize itself to mirror this new understanding. This is not about forcing yourself to believe you are something you are not. Instead, it is about allowing yourself to recognize who you have always been. The process is as natural as a flower opening to the sun. In a distant marketplace, Cyrus sold spices, believing himself to be merely a merchant of modest means. One morning, he chose to see himself as a curator of ancient flavors, a keeper of culinary wisdom passed down through generations. He did not force this new identity, but allowed it to unfold naturally within him. To his amazement, his customers began treating him differently. They sought his knowledge, not just his wares. Opportunities to source rare spices appeared mysteriously. His small shop became known as a sanctuary of flavor wisdom, all because he had permitted himself to embody a larger truth. The universe responds not to what you want to be, but to who you are being in each moment. Your self-concept creates a vibrational frequency that determines which dimension of reality you occupy. As you shift your identity, you shift dimensions. Ancient practice of identity. Expansion. Find a quiet moment and close your eyes. Feel who you are in this moment. Now imagine this sense of self becoming slightly more expansive, like a ripple widening in still water. Don't strain or force. Simply allow your awareness to recognize a broader truth about who you are. Rest in this expanded state for a few breaths, feeling reality begin to respond to this new frequency of being. Let this natural expansion guide your next step forward. Chapter 22. The Energetics of Receiving the Unimaginable. A merchant's daughter named Fern walked through the marketplace each day, watching others trade in gold and precious stones while she carried only copper coins, though she dreamed of owning her own emporium. Something inside her constricted whenever she imagined such abundance. The dream felt too vast, too distant from her current reality. One morning, as she watched a butterfly emerge from its chrysalis, Fern witnessed how the creature had to expand before it could take flight. In that moment, she understood. Her inner vessel was too small for her desires. The universe operates through an immutable law of energetic correspondence. Your capacity to receive mirrors the spaciousness of your inner chamber. Like water taking the shape of its container, abundance flows only to the extent that your energetic vessel allows. When you constrict internally through doubt, unworthiness, or fear, you create a narrow channel through which only minimal blessings can flow. Expansion begins not with action, but with gentle acceptance of possibility. Each time you allow yourself to imagine receiving more than your past has known, you stretch the walls of your energetic container. This is not about forcing or straining, but about softening the boundaries of what you believe possible. Consider Harlan, a humble scribe who spent years copying others' stories. Though he yearned to write his own tales, he believed himself capable of only modest achievements one evening, while transcribing an ancient text about infinite potential. Something within him quietly opened. Instead of dismissing this expansion, he allowed it to settle into his being. Within months, his own stories began flowing, reaching audiences he had never imagined possible. The key lies not in demanding more from the universe, but in becoming spacious enough to receive what has always been waiting. Like a flower opening its petals, your energetic field naturally expands when you release the grip of limitation. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment and bring awareness to your breath. As you inhale, imagine your energetic field gently expanding like morning mist rising from a valley. With each exhale, release one boundary of what you believe possible. Let your inner space grow vast enough to hold blessings beyond your current vision. Rest in this expanded state, allowing the universe to fill you with more than you ever expected to receive. Chapter 23. The Hidden Geometry of Synchronicity. In a quiet mountain village, there lived a woman named Mabel, who noticed peculiar patterns weaving through her days. At first, they appeared as whispers, the same number appearing on clocks, receipts, and license plates. Then came the repeated phrases, each echoing through conversations with strangers. These signs multiplied like stars appearing at dusk, too numerous to dismiss as coincidence. The universe speaks through the sacred geometry of synchronicity. These patterns are not random occurrences, but rather the visible threads of an invisible tapestry being woven by higher forces. When you align with your true path, reality begins arranging itself to support your journey. Think of synchronicity as the universe's subtle confirmation system. Each coincidence serves as a gentle nod, affirming that you walk in harmony with the greater flow. These signs appear most clearly when you release rigid expectations and remain open to guidance that may arrive in unexpected forms. The key lies not in forcing meaning onto every occurrence, but in cultivating awareness of the natural rhythm that emerges when you trust the universe's timing. Your role is to notice these patterns with gentle attention, allowing them to illuminate the path before you. In a bustling city across the sea, a merchant named Rupert struggled with a decision about expanding his small shop. One morning, he began noticing books falling open to chapters about growth and expansion. Conversations with strangers unexpectedly turned to discussions of taking bold steps forward. Even the patterns in his morning tea leaves seemed to spiral outward in expanding circles. Instead of dismissing these occurrences, Rupert chose to see them as cosmic coordinates guiding him forward. When he finally decided to expand his business, he found that doors opened with surprising ease, as if the universe had already prepared the way. His experience revealed that synchronicity often appears as a series of breadcrumbs, leading us toward our highest good. Sacred practice. As the sun rises tomorrow, open yourself to the subtle language of synchronicity. Notice the patterns that present themselves, repeated numbers, recurring themes, chance encounters that feel meaningful. Rather than analyzing these signs with your mind, feel their resonance in your heart. Let each synchronicity serve as a gentle reminder that you walk in partnership with the universe. Trust that the signs you need will appear exactly when you need them, guiding you with perfect precision. Chapter 24. The Energetic Signature of Words. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, a woman named Zelda noticed something extraordinary. Each morning, as she arranged her flower stall, she observed how different words seemed to affect the blooms. When she spoke harshly, the petals would slightly wilt. Yet when she whispered words of appreciation, they appeared to grow more vibrant, their colors deepening before her eyes. This observation opens a gateway to one of the most subtle aspects of the law of attraction, the vibrational essence carried within words themselves. Beyond their dictionary definitions, words emanate frequencies that ripple through the fabric of reality. Each syllable you speak sends forth waves of energy that shape the unseen architecture of your experience. Think of words as seeds planted in the fertile soil of the universe. Their vibrational signature continues to resonate long after the sound has faded, creating patterns that attract matching circumstances. This is why ancient traditions held sacred certain chants and mantras. They understood that sound carries creative force. In a quiet valley town, Dawson discovered this truth through an unexpected path. For years, his habitual phrases had centered around struggle. "I'm trying. It's difficult. I can't seem to." One morning, he began consciously choosing gentler expressions. "I'm allowing. It's unfolding. I welcome." Within weeks, the texture of his daily life transformed. Opportunities appeared with surprising ease, and relationships smoothed into harmony. He hadn't changed his actions, only the vibration of his words. The power lies not in positive thinking alone, but in aligning your speech with the natural frequency of what you wish to create. When your words carry the resonance of peace, peace finds you. When they hold the tone of abundance, abundance responds. Ancient practice of sound. Alignment. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Allow one phrase to arise naturally from your heart, not chosen by your mind, but felt in your being. Speak this phrase aloud once, with gentle intention. Notice how the vibration feels in your body. Let this be your practice of conscious creation through sound. Remember, the universe listens not just to what you say, but to the energetic signature behind your words. Choose them with care, for they are the brushstrokes painting your reality. Chapter 25. The Portal of Gratitude as Creation. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, Ida moved between stalls filled with spices and silk, each day speaking her gratitude to the merchants. At first, her words were simple courtesies, but she began to notice something remarkable. When she expressed genuine appreciation, not for what she hoped to receive, but for what already existed, the universe seemed to respond with unexpected gifts. The secret lies in understanding that gratitude is not merely a response to blessing, but a metaphysical frequency that summons new realities into being. Each thank you, uttered with sincerity, creates a vibrational doorway through which greater abundance flows. Your words of appreciation act as keys, unlocking dimensions of experience that exist beyond current circumstances. When you speak with grateful awareness, you align with the creative force that governs all manifestation. This truth echoes through time. The words you choose either elevate or diminish your vibrational state. Harsh words create resistance, while gentle ones dissolve barriers. Critical speech constricts the flow of good, while words of appreciation expand your capacity to receive. A merchant named Quentin discovered this wisdom through his own experience. Each morning, before opening his shop, he would stand in its empty doorway and whisper, "Thanks for customers yet to arrive, for transactions yet to occur, for prosperity still taking form." At first, nothing seemed to change, but gradually he noticed more people drawn to his establishment. His shelves seemed to replenish with ease, and opportunities appeared as if by magic. The universe responds not to empty phrases, but to the energetic signature behind your words. When you speak with intentional appreciation, you create a magnetic field that attracts corresponding experiences. Your words become bridges between potential and manifestation. Ancient practice of verbal alchemy. Find a quiet moment and place your attention on something in your immediate experience. It need not be extraordinary, perhaps the warmth of sunlight, the steadiness of your breath, or the simple fact of existence. Allow genuine appreciation to rise naturally within you. Speak your gratitude aloud, not as a ritual or obligation, but as a recognition of the gift before you. Feel how these words of appreciation create a subtle shift in your energetic field, opening pathways for greater blessings to flow. Chapter 26. The Harmony Between Desire and Detachment. In a quiet mountain village, Sylvie tended her garden each morning, yearning desperately for the seeds to sprout. Day after day, she hovered anxiously over the soil, her desire for growth so intense it created an invisible wall of resistance, yet nothing emerged. It wasn't until she fell ill and had to stay in bed for 3 days, releasing her grip on the garden's progress, that the first green shoots appeared. The universe operates through paradox. The more intensely you cling to an outcome, the more it seems to slip away. This truth reveals itself in the delicate balance between desire and detachment. Your wanting creates the initial spark of creation, but it is your ability to release that allows the spark to catch fire. Think of desire as the seed and detachment as the soil. Without desire, there is no direction for the universal forces to follow. Yet without detachment, there is no space for manifestation to take root. When you hold both simultaneously, clear intention paired with peaceful surrender, you activate the most potent form of attraction. Milton, a painter, discovered this truth when pursuing his lifelong dream of hosting a gallery showing. For years, he pushed and struggled, his desire burning so hot it scorched every opportunity. Then one day, while working on a canvas, he felt a subtle shift. He still wanted the showing with every fiber of his being, but he released the desperate need for it to happen in a specific way or time. He continued painting with passion, but surrendered the outcome to the universe. Within weeks, an unexpected invitation arrived from a prestigious gallery. The very thing he had struggled to make happen unfolded naturally once he learned to want without clinging. His experience illuminates how detachment is not about becoming cold or distant from your desires. Rather, it is about trusting the universal order enough to release control. When you find yourself gripping tightly to an outcome, remember that the universe cannot deliver through clenched fingers. Your role is to plant the seed of intention with clarity and then step back, allowing the natural forces of creation to work on your behalf. Sacred practice. The space between wanting and trust. Find a quiet moment and bring to mind something you deeply desire. Feel the full intensity of your wanting, allowing it to fill your awareness. Now, without diminishing that desire, begin to soften around it. Breathe space into the wanting. Feel how it's possible to hold both passionate intention and peaceful surrender in the same moment. Rest in this space between wanting and trusting, knowing the universe is already at work on your behalf. Chapter 27. The Quiet Power of Energetic Consistency. In a seaside cottage, Pearl noticed a peculiar pattern in her journal entries. On days when she maintained a gentle, consistent mood, life flowed with remarkable grace. Yet the days she forced intense positivity, trying to overcome negativity with dramatic emotional shifts, yielded chaotic results. This observation led her to a profound understanding. The universe responds not to intensity, but to steadiness. The law of attraction operates through vibrational consistency. Like a musician holding a pure note, your emotional frequency creates ripples in the fabric of reality. These ripples, when maintained with patience, form stable patterns that manifest as lasting change. It is not the occasional burst of high vibration that shapes your reality, but the steady hum of your daily emotional state. Think of your vibrational field as a garden. Sporadic downpours followed by long droughts do not nurture growth as effectively as gentle, regular rain. Similarly, your manifestations flourish not through occasional peaks of alignment, but through the patient cultivation of steady emotional weather. Winston, a bookshop owner, discovered this truth during a year of transformation. Rather than seeking dramatic breakthroughs, he chose to maintain a quiet appreciation for his current circumstances while holding a gentle vision of expansion. Each morning, he spent a few moments aligning with peace, regardless of external conditions. He did not force happiness when challenges arose, but maintained a steady undertone of trust. As weeks passed, he noticed subtle shifts. Regular customers began requesting special orders. New partnerships emerged naturally. His small shop's reputation grew not through aggressive marketing, but through the consistent atmosphere of warmth he had cultivated. The universe responded not to his occasional moments of excitement, but to the reliable frequency he maintained day after day. This principle reveals a fundamental truth. Manifestation is not about reaching for emotional heights, but about finding a sustainable vibration you can maintain with ease. The universe seeks stability in its creations, responding most powerfully to those frequencies that remain constant through time. Ancient practice. Settle into a comfortable position and choose one gentle emotional tone, perhaps peace, appreciation, or contentment. Without forcing or straining, allow this feeling to rest naturally in your being. Return to this same tone throughout the day, not with intensity, but with soft consistency. Let this become your vibrational baseline, a steady note in the symphony of creation. Chapter 28. The Cosmic Return of Every Offering. Along a winding mountain path, a merchant named Alton carried his wares from village to village. Though his goods were modest, he always shared a portion with those in need, offering bread to hungry children or medicine to ailing elders. At first he worried this generosity might leave him with too little, yet he noticed something remarkable. The more freely he gave, the more abundance flowed into his life through unexpected channels. The universe operates through precise metaphysical mathematics. What you release into the field returns multiplied, for energy cannot simply vanish. It must complete its circuit. This multiplication occurs not through magical thinking, but through the exact science of vibrational reciprocity. When you give with pure intention, you activate a frequency of abundance that naturally attracts corresponding experiences. Yet this law extends far beyond material giving. Every smile, every moment of patience, every silent blessing you offer creates ripples in the universal field. These ripples return as waves, carrying gifts that often surpass your original offering. This occurs because giving from authentic alignment opens channels through which the universe can flow more freely. In a quiet village by the sea, Greta worked in her small bakery, often struggling to make ends meet. Rather than focusing on her lack, she began offering fresh bread to elderly neighbors, sharing kind words with troubled souls, and teaching young children to bake. She held no expectation of return, finding joy simply in the giving. Within months, unexpected opportunities appeared. A wealthy merchant became a regular customer. A prestigious cooking school offered her a teaching position, and her tiny bakery gained renown throughout the region. The secret lies not in giving to receive, but in giving as an expression of your natural abundance. When you give from lack, hoping to trigger return, you emit a frequency of scarcity. But when you give from wholeness, knowing you are a channel for universal good, you align with the natural flow of prosperity. Sacred practice. As the sun rises tomorrow, offer one act of kindness without attachment to recognition or return. Let this offering flow from your inner abundance, knowing you are participating in the cosmic dance of giving and receiving. Notice how this simple act shifts your vibrational field, creating space for unexpected blessings to enter. Chapter 29. The Creative Pulse of Identity. Shifting. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Willa stood before a mirror in her small shop, arranging delicate crystals. She noticed that whenever she carried herself with the grace of the successful merchant she aspired to be, customers responded differently. It wasn't her actions that changed first. It was her inner sense of self. The universe responds not to your current circumstances, but to the energetic signature of who you believe yourself to be. Your identity creates a vibrational field that either allows or restricts manifestation. When you shift your inner identity, you initiate a metaphysical recalibration that reverberates through every layer of reality. This truth lies at the heart of accelerated manifestation. The outer world must reorganize itself to match your inner knowing. Yet this shift requires more than mere pretense. It demands genuine emotional embodiment of your chosen identity. You must feel the reality of who you are becoming, with such conviction that doubt dissolves in its presence. In the quiet hills beyond the city, Sterling discovered this principle through an unexpected insight. As a humble gardener dreaming of establishing his own botanical sanctuary, he noticed his progress remained slow until he made a subtle but powerful shift. Instead of working toward his dream, he began to feel the quiet confidence, peace, and certainty that would naturally accompany being the owner of a thriving sanctuary. Without changing his external actions, Sterling allowed himself to experience the emotional texture of already being who he wished to become. He walked differently, spoke differently, made decisions from this new foundation of being. Within weeks, opportunities aligned. A benefactor appeared, offering land. Rare seeds arrived from distant lands, and students sought his wisdom. The universe responded not to his aspirations, but to his energetic certainty. This is the hidden mechanism behind rapid transformation. Your identity creates a force field that either welcomes or repels possibilities. When you maintain the emotional frequency of your chosen identity with unwavering consistency, reality has no choice but to mirror this internal shift. Sacred practice. Close your eyes and breathe deeply into the emotional reality of who you are becoming. Feel the natural confidence, peace, and certainty that accompanies this identity. Let this feeling permeate every cell of your being. Move through your day from this foundation, letting your chosen identity guide every thought, word, and action. Notice how reality begins to align with this new energetic signature. Chapter 30. The Final Secret. You are the field itself. A soft morning light filtered through ancient olive trees as Tessa sat in contemplation. For years, she had viewed manifestation as something that happened to her, a response from a distant universe. Yet in this moment of stillness, a profound realization dawned. She was not separate from the creative force she had been calling upon. The boundary between self and universe dissolved, revealing a seamless field of consciousness expressing itself through her very being. You are not reaching out to a distant power when you manifest. You are the power itself, expressing through the vessel of your human experience. The universe does not respond to you. It expresses as you. This truth shifts everything. Manifestation is not about attracting external circumstances, but about recognizing your nature as the source of all creation. When you understand this unity, manifestation becomes effortless. No longer do you plead with an external force or wait for signs of approval. You simply allow your natural creative essence to flow unimpeded, knowing that you are the living breath of the universe itself. In the depths of an autumn forest, Barnaby walked among fallen leaves, wrestling with a persistent sense of separation. As he touched the rough bark of an ancient oak, something within him shifted. He realized that the tree, the forest, his thoughts and his desires were not separate events, but expressions of one unified field of consciousness, his own consciousness, extended into form. The oak did not exist apart from him, nor did his circumstances. Everything he perceived was his own awareness taking shape, like waves rising from an infinite ocean. His reality wasn't responding to him. It was him, expressing in infinite variations. This recognition transformed his relationship with manifestation. No longer did he see himself as a separate being trying to influence an external world. He understood that his experiences were natural extensions of his own consciousness, as inseparable from him as waves are from the ocean. Sacred practice. Settle into stillness and release all effort to make anything happen. Feel the truth that you are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are that force expressing itself. Let your breath remind you that the same power that moves the cosmos moves through you. Rest in the knowing that you are already the source of all creation, and allow your natural creative essence to flow without resistance. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. The truth lies not in complex techniques or esoteric formulas, but in the simple recognition of what you have always been. Throughout these unveiled secrets, each teaching pointed back to this fundamental reality. You are the creative field expressing itself in human form. When you understand this, manifestation transforms from an external pursuit into a natural flowering of your authentic nature. The universe does not grant or deny your wishes. It moves as you, through you, expressing the vibration you embody. This knowing dissolves the illusion of separation between creator and creation. Yet with this profound truth comes sacred responsibility. As you recognize yourself as an expression of universal creative force, your intentions carry amplified power. This power asks not to be wielded for control or manipulation, but to be channeled with reverence for the highest good of all. The signs and synchronicities you witness are not messages from a distant source, but echoes of your own creative consciousness, reminding you of your true nature. The intuitive whispers you receive are not external guidance, but the voice of your own deeper wisdom, speaking through the quiet spaces between thoughts. In every moment of alignment, every instance of manifestation, you are not reaching outward, but awakening to what already exists within. The journey was never about acquiring power or mastering technique. It was about remembering your original nature as pure, creative essence. The universe responds with perfect fidelity, not just to what you desire, but to the quality of consciousness from which that desire emerges. True mastery lies not in controlling external circumstances, but in cultivating inner clarity, allowing your natural creative force to flow unobstructed. You are both the quiet witness and the creative force, the still awareness and the dynamic expression, the eternal observer and the ever-unfolding manifestation. In recognizing this unity, you return to the truth that has always been waiting. You are the field itself.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.